Good morning, everybody. This is today's Trader's Daily Discipline, and I'm your host, Jason Allen. It is August 7, 2025. Thanks for coming. I just want to say hello to all our new listeners, and for those of you who have been referring some new listeners to the table, thank you very much. I want to mention to you now, not knowing where you're coming into the broadcast from, but also this broadcast is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you'd like to follow through on another server, you're certainly welcome to do that. Um, Additionally, if you haven't had a chance to check out netwinningtrader.com or the Market Mastery Meetup, which is the companion social community to netwinningtrader.com, love to ask you to do that when you have a free minute. I think you'll like the content here. Those of you that have been offering some very positive input on the content I provide here on the Trader's Daily Discipline, there's a lot more where that came from. So if you're interested in what I have to offer, great. Love to have you join the party. I want to get right to work for you, though. Give you a little bit of insight for today, something just to be reminded of. And today's quote to get us started is this: I've arrived at this outermost edge of my life by my own actions. Where I am is thoroughly unacceptable. Therefore, I must stop doing what I've been doing. And that is from Alice Kohler, who, for those of you who aren't familiar, uh, author and I guess you call an academist, somebody who spent a lot of time in the education community, wrote several books, one of which was a bestseller for many years, The Unacceptable Woman, I think. I forget what it is now. Anyway, she graduated from Harvard, PhD in philosophy, and was the only person in her graduating class who didn't get a job. And that was also, she was the only woman in her graduating class. So obviously, she was discriminated against. Just a very shameful thing. But she made the best of it, and has been remembered for many things in addition to this one particular saying. But what I think Alice is really saying here is this: you know, if your results in your life are not what you expected, the problem is you. You've got to stop doing what you've been doing. One of the key components to successful trading is the willingness to just simply admit you're wrong. You've got to just take time to admit I'm wrong. The pathway I'm on does not lead to profitability. I want to ask you a serious question here, really, and I want you to give it some really hardcore thought. How long have you been trading? If your trading isn't paying you consistently and regularly, like by that I mean daily, weekly, monthly, if you're still losing, what do you what does that tell you? You are on the wrong path. Whatever it is that you're putting your confidence in, whatever it is that you believe makes a difference, everything that you're using as a tool set to help improve what you're doing, all of that is wrong. Otherwise, you'd have money in your account. Remember the very first trade you did? Whether it made money or not, you realize you could make money every day. If that's not happening, what's wrong with you? And this is a hard question to ask, and I don't expect everybody to be friendly about it. And I do get my unfair share of hate mail, but the problem is you. If you're not making money, the problem is you. It's not your education, because your education doesn't matter. It's not your background, where you come from, your intelligence level or social background. None of that matters. It's not what gender you are. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is your willingness to adapt. If you're not adapting, you're not making money, problem is you. And I think Alice said it best when she said, I've got to stop doing what I've been doing. This is an inward journey. What is it you've been, one of the other quotes we could use someday is the one that's been very popular with some people, is that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, and yet expecting different results or better results. I had a personal friend who used this just whacked out oscillator I'd never even heard of. Something parabolics or some crap. I don't know. At the time, I'd never heard about it. And I'm like, what is that? And so 20 minutes later, he tried to explain it. Well, how often does it work for you? And he goes, oh, it works about half the time. Half the time. If it works half the time, that's flipping a coin will give you the same results. There's no advantage there. Why are you trusting something 100% if only 50% of the time it produces a gain for you? You see what I'm saying? Doesn't that make common sense to you? My point is simply this. If your results, what you're paying yourself from the markets every day, every week, every month, if those results are not satisfactory, they're not what you wanted, they're not where you thought you would be, the problem is you. It's okay to admit that. It's okay to sit down and go, all right, my plan blows. I got to make some changes here because I'm not where I want to be. There is nothing wrong with that. I guess you'd say gain of function. There's nothing wrong with you reaching the conclusion that something needs to change and it needs to change now. In fact, most people would say that's a healthy thing to do. So make sure that you take some time today to ask yourself that question. Maybe there's something you can start today. Maybe there's a pathway you could get on today that would really make the difference to you. I can tell you with complete confidence and complete certainty that I know that that pathway is out there for you. And I've helped a lot of people find it. So if you're interested in learning more, please consider me your friend in the business. And I hope to hear back from you. In the meantime, take what Alice has to say to heart today. I've arrived at this outermost edge of my life by my own actions. Where I am is thoroughly unacceptable. Therefore, I must stop doing what I've been doing. Give it some serious thought. I think you'll find there's an edge there for you. Thanks for listening, guys. I will see you next time. Tomorrow's Friday. Got some big news coming out tomorrow. Be ready. Have a great day.